It's very always important to start your day as you getting inspired, of course, getting to understand how best can you really be a better entrepreneur. How can you improve your entrepreneurial skills? But definitely you cannot do that when you don't have the knowledge that is required. And that's why we're heading now straight to the business tips and quotes. But of course, before we get there, don't forget Zabu star 292 hash, and of course you'll be available with quite lots of options. If you want to trade stocks, no more paperwork involved. You can do that at whatever part of the country you are located. You could be in the northern Uganda, western Uganda, any country with as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. You are in position to actually execute this. Star 292 hash, you buy the company stocks, you could buy government bonds, whatever of your choice. Now the markets open at 8:15 a.m. and they close at exactly 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, Monday to Friday. Zabu, my money, my future, and do something new for yourself in there. And now we're heading straight to the business tips and quotes. Of course, as you get inspired as an entrepreneur out there, what is that you really need to know? What is that knowledge that you need to possess before you can actually do whatever you're doing? Oh, what is that knowledge that you need to sustain what you are already doing? Now, but firstly, let's review the business tip of the day. Yeah, the business tip of the day says, don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves to what they think or what they can do. You can go as far as your mind lets you. So what you believe, remember, you can achieve. Yeah, that is inspirational for any person, because of course there is a belief that as much as you can explore your mind, all the possibilities that you can actually do, it will be a very determining factor on how far you're going to go in your career or in whatever you're pursuing as a person. Regardless of what, your mind is your limit. So how far do you explore your mind, and how much do you believe that you can actually exploit what you exploit? That is very important. It's very important to really put into consideration, because it will be a determining factor on how far you will go with your business, on how far you will start your business, and also getting to understand how easy it will be for you to start up your very own business. Don't limit your mind. What you think you can achieve, you believe, then you can achieve that. All right, now away from that, let's review the business quote of the day. Yeah, now the business quote of the day says that there is only one success there is only one success to be able to send your life, of course, in your own way. That is Christopher Morley. There is only one success. Wow. You see, that is a very, very interesting. What I perceive about this whole quote, it all comes back to a series of, sometimes we anticipate that if I want to be successful, I need to do quite lots of things. I need to do this, I need to do A, B, C, D, which is okay. But you also need to understand that sometimes you just need only one opportunity, one life-changing moment that will really change your life forever, that will change your business forever. So that is all that you need at some times. Yeah, you may do quite lots of things, you may do this, you may do that, but you may not be in position to see the results that you really anticipate. And reality and expectation, when they catch up, at the end of the day, you're going to feel like you're not worth doing anything. So that is, in a way, going to affect how you think, and it's going to even, of course, try to sabotage. It's going to sabotage your self-esteem in a way. So success, there is always that one moment that you always need. There is only one success, and we can also look at it from the dimension of specialization, that you can actually decide to focus on one thing and you succeed at it, and that will be a door opener for you in whatever you're doing. You can also get to understand it in that perspective. It's very dimensional. I don't want us to look at it in a way that is only one-sided. It's revelational. I don't know what revelation you get. I also have a revelation I get regarding that particular quote. Well, it's exactly 8:09 under this particular time. Let's get into the social media trends and, of course, getting to see what is transpiring in the world of business, but it's trending in a way. Yeah, and of course, starting on our social media trends, we see that looking for a woman who doesn't love money is the same as looking for a towel with pockets. So literally, they're trying to tell you that it's impossible to really achieve that. So yeah, that is something very interesting to really think about that. Of course, that doesn't mean you shouldn't, you need to take care of, to take the responsibility as a man, definitely. Okay. And then, of course, we look at money hack, start a church. Start a church. I mean, churches have been a sort of course, people have perceptions about that depending on which society that you're into. Some societies perceive churches as businesses, money laundering and all that. But well, it all comes back to your perspective regarding that. Now, still looking at this, we see that the only thing I want is some money, and real bad. That is, well, anyway. Every person wants money anyway. Every person needs money, and of course, the only thing that everybody wakes up to make money. So it's it is okay to pursue money. No one is ignoring you. They are just awaiting you to get money. They're just waiting for you to get money. Well, money. Sometimes we talk about rejection, but get money. You won't be rejected. You remember in the Bible about the poor man's wisdom that was rejected, and yet because he didn't have the money, so his wisdom was rejected, and of course the rich man was embraced in that way. So get the money. No one is ignoring you regarding that. Of course, the respect will come along the way, and you will be in position to do whatever that you ought to do. Still looking at the trends, what's trending in there. And of course, somebody says that money ain't everything, but it's up there with oxygen. Money ain't everything, but it's up, there with oxygen. Well, you really perceive of that? It ain't everything. It ain't everything. Definitely, you need to understand that there is more to life than just money. Though you need money to really catch up with life. In a way, that doesn't mean that we should get too deep and and we ignore that. Okay, now still looking at people who spend money on experiences rather than material items tend to be happier. Well, people who spend money. Let's read this again. People who spend money on experiences rather than material items tend to be happier. So there is experiences, there is material items. So what is an experience? What is a material item? An experience can be a transformational. An item is just something you get probably to fulfill your lusts. Okay, for lack of a better word. I don't know whether it would really be appropriate, but regarding that, but an experience can be something that can really change your life for the good. It's the greatest investment you can ever give out to yourself there. Of course, those are from facts, over facts in there. Yeah, you spend money, material things. So where do you fall? Where do you spend your money? Do you spend it on material things or do you spend it on experiences? Okay, now still we're looking at here, we see that this person says that that money that's needed to make money, do you have it? That money that is needed to make money, do you have that money? That's also some question that you need to ask yourself. Do I have this money that I need to make money? We keep on saying, I need money. You need money to make more money, but do you have the money that you can make? Do you have the money to make the money that you want to make? And that is something that you also need to put into great consideration in there. Still looking at that. Now, somebody here says that, now I understand why my mother didn't want me to work while studying. The money blinds the value of education. Of course, simply because we're told that study to get a good future, and what we perceive as a good future is money. So if I'm making the money, why am I going to look for to study the future? Definitely, that's what she's trying to say in there. the money I'm starting to get, I already have. So why do I need education for? But you need to get education because surviving on just, because if you get the money without the education, you just use your brains, But somebody with education has both the brains and, of course, the education. Well, it's exactly 15. That is past 8 a.m. And at this particular time, let's get into our update number 2. And this time around, we are looking at the Ministry of Finance, of course, emphasizing the role of UBRA, that is the Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. Let's review what's relating to this report. I'll be returning with more details.
It's very important that we promote this sector in many countries, which is actually the one behind the transformation of those countries, because you're mobilizing savings, and it is savings that we use for investment. So if you want to see investment, you must ensure that there's enough savings in the country. And where the savings are limited, then you look at how savings are generated. So you look at those things that generate income for the population in order to have that portion that is ultimately saved. So you cannot be talking about investment without savings. I think that is the starting point. So our main challenge, is to make sure that we build the savings as much as possible. And you are playing a regulatory function, but also a function involving the mobilization of the population to save, but ensuring also that those savings are not being abused, so hence the role of that regulatory function, to regulate the players, to make sure that they are playing their role. We don't want to see the likes of what we are experiencing now under NSSF, questions being raised here and there. Where is corporate social responsibility? Where did it go? Those questions. The key question then is, where was the regulator? Where there's a high risk exposure, I think we need to highlight these issues. Especially we are now working more closely. We can then go back and advise the policymakers that there is a loophole here. You can leave it or take it. So that we improve the policy environment, so that this person who contributes his or her money ultimately finds that money at the end of the period when that person eventually retires. You want to make sure that that money is effectively protected. So there's no compromise on that, and to make sure that this person saving the money is entitled to his earnings as they fall due. I'm one person who does not celebrate these pronouncements at the end of the year that the fund has generated 11% earnings for the contributors. How is it arrived at? With the transparency in that arrangement. I've seen schemes where this information is transparently being displayed in real time. As things happen, that you invest money here, you know what your returns are. And you're able to see that. Not to wait at the end of the year, and then they tell you, when we did this, we made our calculations, this is your entitlement. There's no transparency there. I mean, how do I know that it is 11 and it is not 15 or 10? Or, because now funds, the way they are managed, it's just information just there on the wall for anyone to see that this is the money I'm making. This is an investment. You save, you're actually investing, you as an individual contributor. And with these levels of efficiency, we can't be able to attract more and more voluntary savings. But because the system is not transparent enough, then these potential savers are not attracted to save money. So now, as a regulator, these are things that you need to fight for. The rights of the agents that are contributing, so that they are not taken advantage of by the players. And I think this is what is informing the 11%. Now, today, for example, in long interest rates is at about, I think, 18% in the primary market, over 18.5%. Now, you need to explain to me why you give me 11%. Otherwise, I remain unsatisfied. You need to prove to me that the rest, the 7.5%, is a cost. Is a cost. And in many schemes, globally, we have agreed, the policies have defined facets. So you know what the levy is, what the fund managers are taking, what the administrators are taking, and what the custodian is entitled to. No access is under the custodian. Your presentation that the scheme has actually access to those resources. In other words, once money has gone there, you cannot move out a penny. It's a fund. It's a fund. You cannot set your operational funds on the funds under custody. So I think I find these as loopholes still in the system. And by working closely together, we can plug some of these loopholes so that the funds operate better. It's gratifying to note that the funds are growing, but the potential is big. It's big. I listened to you on our investments in equities. That one is so important. That market is so important in the growth of the economy through the private sector, particularly.
That is, of course, the Minister of Finance on advising on the role of the Uganda Regulatory Benefits, that is UBRA, Uganda Regulatory Benefits Regulatory Authority. So that is something that, serving as an example, sorting the loopholes within the system, something very, very important, as Honorable Amos Lugolobi, that is the State Minister for Planning, was, of course, putting out these issues, looking at the The NSSF saga is of course calling upon the Uber, the regulator of NSSF, to serve as an example. The aspect of emphasizing transparency in whatever is being done is very important. And also one of the matters that we discussed here, we see that there was the aspect of building capacity for people, that is to save more. Because if that capacity is not built enough, the public won't be attracted to save with the agency. Now, of course, people's savings also shouldn't be abused. It's one of the highlights of the discussion. Looking at policymakers out there, if need, of course, be in policies. That is also something to really understand, and also getting to understand that the loopholes within the system should be managed. That is by the agency itself, to avoid more sagas. Because once there is lack of transparency, we shall not attract the servers to come and save with the agency. So it's very important to look into those very insights. Well, it's 25 past 8 a.m. and of course, don't forget Zabu made your trading experience much more easy. Star 292 hash, as you will be availed with quite lots of options. You can buy government bonds and securities, and of course the markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at exactly that is 3:15 p.m. That is Monday to Friday. And very interesting that with just 15,000 you are able to buy government bonds and stocks. So you choose what really works out for you. Zabu, my money, my future. No more hassle regarding that. Well, at this particular time, let's get into a short break. Coming up is the business and entertainment and sports business, and of course we shall be getting to have insights of what's happening right there. Good morning.